Peoples, welcome back to Coffee and Confidence. So today I have with me part of my inner circle, and I just have to say that God has been so kind to me to bless me with these amazing girls. And with that being said, the Christmas season and the birth of Jesus is upon us. So I thought, what better than to talk about the gift of relationships. We are relational creatures, and where I believe that, we are relational and we are made for companionship, I believe that that is where we will be battled the most, is in our relationships. And how we live matters, and how we love matters, like it says in 1 John 3:18. It says, "Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." So are we living and loving God with our lives? And it says, some of my notes I have is that we're always searching for something to fill that void. And so what are some things that you guys have turned to or sought after to turn in a season of loneliness or where things have just been lacking in your life?
I feel like the thing that I really try to fill myself with during that dark time, you could say, was trying to hang out with my friends as much as I can. Not partying like most people do, but always being at someone's house and always not staying home, I guess, just to not be sad almost.
I fill myself with too much sleep. Sleep cannot solve all your problems, Cheyenne. I feel like I fill my void with social media. I just spend all my time on social media, so I don't have to think of anything. I'm just watching everyone else's lives happen and not thinking about my own.
Which most of the time leads to a downward spiral.
Yes. And how many times have you guys found that those things just leave you empty? They don't really satisfy what you need in that moment or fill that void.
Oh, all the time. After I started hanging out with friends and stuff, I found y'all, which are so filled with joy and filled with the gospel that it just makes me feel and directs me in the right direction. Mm-hmm. That some of my friendships that I was filling myself with before have broken off. I feel like God places people in your life at certain moments, and I know that y'all are going to be here forever because of the way you just speak and show how joyful you are and enlightened.
Yes. So I think that we can all agree that us four right here, we have found that the things that we have turned to have never satisfied us in what we needed. And so therefore we know that the thing that is always going to be steadfast and stay constant is Jesus. And with that being said, God has given us an invitation to intimacy. He has given us an invitation to his heart, an invitation to be closer to him, to know him, and all the more to love him. And it's not always easy to accept people, flaws and all. It's hard. There's some things that Jerica may do that I'm just like, oh, Jesus, I need you right now.
For real. We all have our moments. We all have our moments.
Yes, but that is what makes it beautiful, is to know that we can choose each other day after day, just like God is going to choose us day after day, like it says in 1 John 4:11, "Beloved, if God so loved us, we also ought to love one another." And so we want to love well. We want to do our best to love better in those areas that we find lacking in our relationships. If there's something that, I'm lacking in mine and Liv's relationship, I'm going to step up. I'm going to try and make that better and work on it. Same with Jerica and Cheyenne. Because, that's what Jesus would do. That's what, he does. He comes in each and every day, each morning with his new love, his grace, and his mercy every day. And, he is the greatest example of that, of love, and choosing to love us each and every day, even when we mess up, because, we are not perfect. So do you guys have anything else you want to say? Add on?
Oh, I don't know. You kind of really said it all.
Yeah, you really did.
Yeah.
It was to add.
Yeah. Also with relationships, like say that we had something to work on, I also feel like talking about it is also a really big thing. Like, even though, like, obviously sometimes God isn't going to talk back, but I feel like even though still praying and getting it out there is still like the best thing that you can do.
Yeah, and it even says in the Bible that He knows the desires of our hearts, and He knows what we want before we even ask it. And so that's just, and it says in the Bible, well, it's referenced a lot. It doesn't say it exactly, but God is a gentleman. And one thing my parents have always told me is that He will not force Himself on you, and therefore God waits for us. Like I just said, he gives us that invitation. So He's waiting on us to invite Him into our day. And like you said, praying and getting it out there, that's us making it known that we're like, okay, God, here, I need you. Like, I just want you. And God, I need your help in this situation. Like, just lead, guide, and direct me in this. Like, I don't know what to do. And so, I mean, yeah, communication is a really good one.
I agree.
Yes. And then I feel like self-reflection too. Like in all of your relationships, like self-reflecting is always good. It like helps you see what's going wrong, and like it's not always the other person. Like I'm definitely the first person to be like, oh, it's their fault, blah blah blah. But like it's probably my fault too. So sometimes it's hard to like accept that I'm wrong.
I'm the least confrontational person you'll ever meet, and I'll just be like, no, it's fine. It's my fault. It's my fault. Like,
You know, it's okay. Sometimes I have to do it for her, but it's fine. You know,
sometimes you just self-reflect.
me and Jerica are we definitely have very confrontational people and very not confrontational people.
Yes, exactly. And so I think that's really good. That's what I love about my friends, is that I'm able to surround myself with different variations, and we are able to be there for each other in those areas that are lacking in our own lives. Like me and Cheyenne, we are non-confrontational people, and Jerica and Liv are. And so we have them to step in and be like, hey, I'm here for you, like, let me help you. And they're not just gonna be like, oh my God, ew, like, you can do that on your own. No, it's because they want to live and love like Jesus would, and therefore they are selfless in the pursuit to love us. And they hope, I mean, you know, you don't expect anything in return, but it's always good to give something in return. So with their help, I'm gonna like help them out too in a situation. And you know,
I don't think there's ever been a time where I've helped you and you haven't like thanked me or been so grateful about it. And I know that I could call you any day. I could call any of y'all and be like, listen, I have a problem. I'm on my knees, help me.
I feel like we've made great relationships, like all of us, with God, and God has like brought us closer together because of it.
Oh yes, God is really the center of all of our of this circle.
Yeah, and I think that is what's most important, is to make sure that every relationship is God-centered, whether it's, you know, with your girlfriends or whether it's with, you know, your boyfriend. And, you know, even families, like sometimes you're just like, I want to strangle my sibling. But that's whenever Jesus' love comes in. It's like, you have to be gentle and you have to love them.
You just gotta pray about it, pray on it.
Yes. But make sure that every relationship is God-centered, and you don't try and like, you know, do things on your own. Make sure you are in the Word daily, renewing your mind and your heart, and you know what the Word says, and you're able to live by that, and you're able to help lead others in the same direction. And so, are you guys good?
Yeah.
Say anything else?
I'll bring this up. So, like, whenever you brought up, like, relationships with, like, boyfriend or girlfriends, cause like, well, not girlfriends, like, well, yeah, that too, but, like, mainly relationships with, like, your boyfriend and stuff, like, I don't know, like, I've found, like, a lot of, like, relationships that, like, look so nice and shiny from the outside, and then once you get inside, you realize how dark they are and how, like, not God-filled they are, and then you're in this, like, dark hole, and you have to, like, dig yourself back out to the light. But I just feel like it's always important to, like, go in open-minded, but always keep in mind what's most important. And, like, try to keep it, like, God-centered. And if it's not, just know it's probably not going to work out. And it's not for the best.
Yeah. I also feel like there's a lot of girls out there who are Christians and are just full, and have boyfriends that aren't. And I feel like they're kind of intimidated to, like, say anything about the Word to him. But I feel like you just have to kind of be open with it. And, like, if they're not accepting, then maybe it's not for the best, you know?
Yeah, brings down like your level of faith. Like it just like makes you feel like compromised.
Yeah.
Is the best word I feel like.
So
I
you
can
don't
think
want
of.
to like settle.
Yeah, you never
That's-
want to settle.
No.
Yeah.
Not really the thing to do.
And one thing that I've always been told by like my mom and my dad is to always guard your heart. And that can go both ways for, you know, your relationship with your girlfriends and with your boyfriends, because you want to go in there guarding your heart, because you never want to get too attached, because you never know what the future holds, because, you know,
Yeah.
we don't know the future. We don't see the bigger picture, but God does, because, you know, God, he created us in our mother's womb, and he knew us before we were even like born into this world. And so he knows what our life is going to be like 5 to 10 years from now. We don't. So that's why it's always good to guard your heart in every situation, because you never want to get taken advantage of, or, you know, just you never want to get your heart broken or hurt.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes, you know, that will happen, but you just have to trust the process and believe that, you know, God has a purpose in all of it.
Yes.
Amen.
I agree.
So you guys good?
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, the last thing I want to say is that I will be praying for you all, and praying that this helps us all to be mindful of how we love, and, you know, to be intentional with the gifts that God has given us. So I hope you all just take this well and it reaches you where you need it. So thank you for watching Coffee and Confidence. Be blessed. Mwah.